GPW-2000 series Gravitymaster G-Shock watch disassembly. Let's begin. First, we're gonna need to use a 2.0mm hex screwdriver to remove 1, 2, 3 screw that is locking the watch band. Now let's remove the strap. First and foremost, I'm gonna start with this side of the watch. All you have to do is just lift up this holder like so, as if you are lifting up a hood of a car. While holding it with your two fingers like so, push this carbon fiber sheet inside like that. You can see that it is being pushed, right? Push it in and out like that, and then take a pair of tweezers or anything to pull this part out like that. Okay, once you've done that, you basically just already removed the lock for this watch band. Next up, use a screwdriver like one of this and push this two pin on both sides. On normal G-Shock, this will be a screw bar. In this case, it is just a pin. Like so, and then take your tweezers again, slide this in like that, and assist you to basically pull this out. It is pretty grippy, so just a little bit of force and it will comes out eventually, just like that. And do it the same thing again on the other side like that, and this bar, not a screw bar, just a bar, will falls out eventually, just like that, because it is not being held on by anything else anymore. These two pins has already been removed. Once you've done that, this watch band will practically falls down on its own. Okay, so basically what we are doing, let's see now if I could show to you guys the constructions of this portion. Let's bring the lights in. Okay, right, this is the watch band, this is the holder, and this is the bar that goes in like that. There's this pin. I'm sorry, I should have put the pin in first. Okay, like that. Let me take the other pin and push it in on the other side like that, and now everything is already been held, right? And this is what locks these two pins into place. Slide this in like that, and notice that this carbon fiber sheets will hold the slots for this one pin and one on this other side, making it unmovable. So let's do the same thing on the other side of the watch. This side, same thing again. Lift this up, push this carbon fiber sheets in and pull it out, or wiggle it up a little bit. Like so. And then use this screwdriver and pull the pin out. You can see the metal bar being exposed already, and this thing already comes out just a little bit, just so you could pull it out. Do the same thing on this other side, and then use your nail and pull it out one side and do the same on the other side, like so. And then checks out the metal bar will just falls down, and then you could just remove this watch band like that. A quick note, this pin is made out of plastic even though it looks like metal on the outside. This part is stainless steel, so you need to clean it up oftenly because there's rust in there already. If you didn't clean it up or maintaining it, this rust will build up and makes removing the watch band a lot harder than it should be. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna clean my watch up. As you can see, a lot of dust already built up in there already, so I really need to clean my G-Shock watch, and I suggest you guys do the same to yours. So let me measure the lug size of this piece. It will go 16.5 millimeters for the outermost part, and the inner side will goes around 12 millimeters. So find a watch band that could fit this lug, and you could change it up to a different band. Next up, removing the watch bezel. In order to do so, first and foremost, remove this side screw, just one of them. And if you want to remove this watch bezel, you're gonna need to remove this 1, 2, 3, 4, including the crowns, 4 buttons and 1 crown out, and then you could just remove the bezel just by pushing it out. And in order to do so, you'll need to remove this back cover, have access into the movement. Let's do it. This is the metal backplate, and this is the piezoelectric speaker. And in order to take this movement out, first and foremost, you'll need to take this back cover for this watch out, like so. That is your alpha gel for shock absorptions. One more over here and one more over here in red colorway. Before you could take the movement out, you're gonna need to remove the crown. In order to do so, unscrew it. Okay, without pulling the crown, make sure it is pushed in. There's an indicator over here telling you to push a lever somewhere here. This is the push. This is the arrow indicator pointing to a lever hiding down here. That's the one. Push that just slightly and then pull the crown out. Push it and hold on to it. While doing that, just pull the crown. It will release eventually. You don't need to exert a lot of force or else you break it. Just, well, probably you need to feel it, and then the crown could be pulled out just like that. Before a closer inspection, there's an O-ring inside there, meaning when you lock or screw the crown back in, you don't have to over tighten it up or else you'll damage that O-ring, just enough so that it held into place, and then you're good. Once you unlock the crown, don't worry as well, because there are 2 more O-ring built in the shaft in there. For example, while the crown is in and unscrew positions, there's already 2 O-ring for water resistance, so you're good to go. And there's more O-ring underneath this part, which I'll show you guys afterwards. While at it, this movement is fully made in Japan, and despite having GPS antenna built in, it only operates using CTL1616 battery, meaning finding a replacement years and years to come wouldn't cost you as much as if you're owning the GPW-1000 or the Rangeman GPRB GP-1000, which gonna cost you around 100 bucks per battery. In this case, 10 bucks. So that's what I like about this GPW-2000. Low maintenance costs, 10 or 20 years from now. To take the movement out, just lift it up like that, because there's really nothing else that holds it into place. And I won't be disassembling this movement at all, because I already know how it looks like on the inside and how complex the motor and mechanism for this watch. So I'm just gonna leave this as it is on the side. Next, we're gonna need to remove the watch buttons. In order to do that, remove this E-clip, one over here, big one over here, and another one on this side, and another one over here. A quick look before we proceed. These are all the E-clips, and this is the cylinder that hold the crown shaft. Notice there's two more O-ring placed on the outside, and there's actually one more, let's see now, placed somewhere here in between this cylinder and the casing of the watch. This part is pretty thin, so do not lose this. Of course, I'll add a close-up shots for you to have a better look and understand how the construction looks like. So from now onwards, do not over tighten your crown. It's already well protected in and out. Now, the easy part, just remove the watch buttons like that. Each of the buttons will have two O-ring at the end of them, so make sure you take both of them out. One over here, one over here. These two are made out of metal, and the thicker button on this side are made out of plastic. Notice of how much dirt there is already built up on the inside of the watch. Over time, that could get bigger and bigger and build up into a chunk of dirt, and that would affect your watch buttons operation. So that's why you're gonna need to clean it up, or at least know how to clean it up. Since there's literally nothing that hold the bezel to the hard case anymore, you could just easily push it out like that, and it will comes out very easily. Now there's the city index ring on top. If you want to remove this, you're gonna need to pry it out. It is only held using a double-sided tape underneath, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I don't have a replacement tape. Put this thing aside, and this is the watch bezel. You can already disassemble it actually pretty easily because nothing that holds it into place, and it is pretty flexible part. So I could take this ring out just like that, just wiggle it out a little bit, and as you can see, there's a lot of dust and dirt built up underneath it as well, things that you cannot see. So I'm gonna need to clean it up. There's this orange ring around here which could be removed as easily, just like that as well. And this part also have a lot of dirt built up at the top and also underneath it, so I'm gonna need to clean this up as well. And next up, yep, yeah, this part already fall down just like that. There's two screws on top of here, which basically holds this black bezel and this orange resin bezel. If you want to remove that, you could, but if you don't want to, well, it doesn't really matter, right? But in my case, I'm gonna remove it. Fairly easy. And if you want to take this out, just gonna need to wiggle it out a little bit. Even though it is locked with screw, it is also being held up with a clip. There you go. And now we're basically done, and I want you guys to check this watch bezel as well. On the underneath it, notice there's a lot of dust and dirt built up as well, so I really need to clean up my G-Shock watch. In particular, I bought this watch in used conditions, and this one is, if I'm not mistaken, from 2016, so all of this dust, I'm guessing, was gathered up over like almost 5 years now. So you don't have to actually do it every day or every week or every month, just do it every once a year. But remember, you don't have to clean the entire thing. The thing that you really need to be concerned about is this stainless steel bar, because it could get rusted over time, so you're gonna make sure this thing is dried up each time you expose the watch to water. So let's zoom out and have a look at everything that we have, and then I'm gonna need to clean it up and reassemble the watch. Now if you look at all of these parts and components like this, it didn't look as complex, but then again, it is really not as complex when you think about it. What makes this watch great is the thoughts that goes behind the design to create something like this. I really can't imagine what kind of person or what kind of thing that goes in the person's mind who designs something like this. It's just crazy, and I'm not even looking at the interior constructions of the movement yet. We are just looking at the exterior components. Other thing that I need to point out is that cleaning. There are 3 steps process. First, I'm gonna soak all of these smaller components like this in this ultrasonic cleaner, and then I'll start it after a few hours at 50 watt, and then I'm gonna need to clean off these heavier, bigger parts manually with a toothbrush, and then I'll assemble the buttons and the crown to block all of the holes around the hard case, and then I'll clean the casing as it is, and then I'll assemble the whole watch. When it's done, it is done, and usually there are no water leak issue because I will apply grease sealer and make sure everything is dry. So if you want to clean it up, you don't have to do it the way I do it. Just assemble the watch band and clean it as it is, and that should be good enough already. And before I end this video, I need to point out one other thing. My GPW-2000 is dead. Check this out. I put it under the sun, charged it up for hours, a few days really, and it didn't light up at all. I left this in the box for about 1 month or 2 months because I've been wearing this GPW-2000 because it is just much better than one of these, and now it is dead. Didn't expect this at all though, but I'm guessing probably because of the battery need to be replaced because of the improper battery maintenance, you say, like, yeah, weird charging cycle. So take good care of your GPW-1000 guys, so things like this won't happen. And since we already at this point, why not disassemble this G-Shock watch, just have a look at design, and let's see if this thing is even comparable to this GPW-2000, which is doubtfully is, but let's have a look soon.